logo. I love what it stands for. I love the patients that we serve. I want Hello Human Kindness to also extend to all of our employees.
Yes.
It's come to our attention, and I know I speak for every nurse in this room, that coming forth from this year, you are thinking about cutting our pensions by 30%.
Yep.
We need to have you explain that and tell us why you think that's important, because at this point, we're feeling that Hello Human Kindness is out there for other people, but not necessarily for those of us who are serving on the front lines.
Okay. First of all, I am happy that you brought up that question. That question has come up at each one of the forums, and I was going to bring the question up myself because I think there is some misinformation out there, and I think that we owe you an answer. And I was very much involved in, appropriately, at the end, the negotiations with CNA and in discussions with Roseanne to make sure that we tried to come up with a fair and an equitable and a reasonable, if you will, conclusion. So what I'm going to do, because here details are important, I'm going to ask Daryl to share with you what we ended up doing and why we ended up doing what we did. And I would just preface by saying that one of the biggest challenges that healthcare companies have, health ministries have, and organizations of our size, particularly in a reformed environment and with where we are fiscally in this country, is the challenge of trying to figure out how do we do right for our employees on our pension, but also how do we make sure that we not create a situation where we have to drastically shrink the organization because we can't afford the pension. But that's just a preface. So Daryl, would you speak to her specific question?
Yes, definitely. First of all, thanks a lot for the question. Second of all is we all recognize the importance of pension, and we're working for a future, and we want to make sure that pension is preserved. Now, let me also mention that, and I don't want to give you too much history, but back in April, we engaged in having a discussion about the fact that we needed to do some updating to the plan. The reason we engaged in doing that update to the plan is because the plan had not been updated for 10 years. And so we had to take a look at some factors to make sure that the factors were more current. We did provide proper notification, and we thought we were very clear. Obviously, the issue came up, and we had to actually deal with it and actually talk through some of the dynamics as to why we needed to update the plan. So we sat down and we did that. It took about a 2-month, maybe 2.5-month period of time for us to get to a conclusion that did a couple things. It addressed the updating of the plan. It addressed ERISA, an ERISA-type compliant approach to the plan. It also took a look at some of the factors or some of the formulas for different levels of employees. And third and most importantly, we also dealt with a transition issue that was also going to protect those individuals who are long in career, like you mentioned, so that their pensions would be protected in a way that was not appropriate, but satisfactory. So we believe that the pension is extremely important. It is a significant cost for the company, but that wasn't the motivating factor behind it. It was the updating of some of the factors associated with the pension.
And I would just add this, for people like yourself who have served many years Catholic Healthcare West and Dignity Health, we made sure, and I personally worked with Daryl and our team to make sure you did not experience the changes. What we looked at was there was one segment where we said, okay, our pension is, driven toward a certain age of, let's say, 55, that we would raise that to 60. But I will tell you, I feel adamant and very compassionate about the fact that when you look at our pension plan compared to our competitors, and when you look at the action that we took, and this is not just this year, we started even at my level with management a few years ago, and we made some tweaks. So I agree with you. I want everybody here, not just nurses, but everybody to retire with an adequate and the best pension that this ministry can provide. But as the CEO, and this may not be popular, I am not going to let us get back to where we were when I came to this organization in June 1st of 2000, and this organization was about to go bankrupt. So we have to keep balancing the income, the resources, the reimbursement, what our foundations can do, and what we can do with our investment portfolio, with our expenses. We don't want to become a General Motors. We don't want to become one of those organizations where we have to say, you know what? No more can this organization afford to make the kinds of contributions that were via Divine Plan. We're going to have to go to a fully contribution plan, because that puts a lot of hardship on our employees. So I thank you for the question. That may not be a satisfactory answer. It is the truth. It's the honest answer. And I've given you the best answer I can give. Okay, we have